world news. Coming in for the world news again is Disney. Are you sensing a theme here? We're getting a lot of Disney Marvel news. Apparently, after only 18 months of operation, Disney is officially shutting down the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. The official closure will start on September 28th, but will officially close its doors for the very last time on September 30th. Basically, it is the perfect opportunity at Walt Disney World to live out a 2-night fantasy of yours to ever be in the galaxy far, far away for Star Wars. It is a Disney Star Wars immersive experience hotel, and it is officially shutting down as of September 30th. So save up, and if that is your thing, definitely get in before September 30th. After 13 years, I have some questions about this, because after all that the FBI could be doing in today's modern age, this is the crime that they decide to solve? Like, are we serious? Are we serious? But I digress. I will leave that up to your discretion to see if you come to the same conclusion I did. But here we go. If you are a Wizard of Oz fan, this is for you. After 13 years, the ruby slippers have officially found their way home. In 2005, a pair of Judy Garland's ruby slippers she wore in a majority of the production of The Wizard of Oz were stolen from a museum in Minnesota. They were on display in the museum. They were on loan from another location, and somebody climbed up, broke the display, and stole the ruby slippers. The ruby slippers are only one of 4 pairs that remain, and they are estimated at roughly $3.5 million worth of value. That's really crazy to think, you know, how many pairs she probably wore through production, and there are only 4 remaining pairs. So yeah, I can see why they could be worth that much money. A man living just 12 miles away from the museum was apprehended after an FBI sting, and he was charged with theft. Terry Martin, a Minnesotan, was indicted and found, they indicted him with 1 count of theft of a major artwork. A summons has officially resulted, and they caught him in, the sting started in, the investigation started roughly 2015. The sting officially came to a close in 2018, and he is officially receiving his summons now as of June 1st of this year. He will have to report to court for a video interview to, you know, appeal for the charges he has been charged with. So that is, I have questions, like, all the stuff that's going on right now, but the ruby slippers. I mean, I love Judy Garland. I love The Wizard of Oz. I'm all about preserving artwork. I mean, one of the slippers is at the Smithsonian. You know, the Academy has a pair. A private collector has a pair. So yeah, that's a big deal, because that's the 4th pair, the last of the remaining pairs. But when you think about all the stuff that's going on in the United States right now, it's like, I digress, whatever. Ben Francis is officially Britain's youngest billionaire. He, at the age of 19, when he was a college student, he began sewing his own workout clothes. In his parents' basement, he was sewing workout gear in between going to school and working as a pizza delivery driver in roughly 2012. Today, he is one of the world's youngest billionaires, and a credit to Britain. He is, you know, just a perfect classic example of somebody that has no limiting beliefs, full of self-belief, determination, and had a dream, made it happen, and utilized the good side of social media. What a recipe for success that is, as one of the youngest billionaires to date. In case you are wondering, like, why does this guy sound familiar? Well, you've probably run across his products. He is the owner of Gymshark, which he started in his parents' basement. So huge, awesome congratulations. What a great story that we can all learn from. And I think it's a really fun, positive side to world news. On the other side of world news, we've got something coming out of France. Now, this is very interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So I think that there's a lot of good and some interesting and kind of cringe stuff about what I'm about to talk about. And the reason why I find it cringe is because as a libertarian, I am very much limited government, I guess is what I would say. So whenever I hear, you know, buzzwords like regulation and things like that, I go, But I do think there is something really good out of what France is actually trying to do, because a lot of people have been scammed. They've been duped. And I mean, you know, 8 out of 10 young girls are, you know, depressed in today's modern, most wealthiest full of opportunity society. So yeah, something does need to be done. And if you consider the most recent, you know, NFT scandals and, you know, people endorsing certain stocks and things like that, that they had no business doing and getting scammed out of money and their followers getting scammed. So this might actually be a good thing, but I do reserve some judgment when I hear buzzwords like regulation. So here we go. France recently finalized a law to regulate influencers. So here's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is where I think it'll be mostly good. So anywhere from labels on filtered images to bans on promoting cosmetic surgery. France aims to regulate commercial activities of influencers to protect consumers from possible fraud and or scams. So yeah, I mean, when you consider, you know, people selling, you know, diet stuff, but really all their stuff is photoshopped and, you know, or, you know, oh, look natural like me, but really it's full of like Botox or it's AI, you know, Photoshop and things like that. So this is where I think it's going. So this is what I do think is good, because I can't tell you how many times people have, you know, promoted a product that they don't even believe in or use, but it makes them money, and then you're wasting your money and so forth and so on. So apparently it's already been approved by the National Assembly and the Senate in France. They'll prohibit promoting cosmetic surgery and subscriptions to sports betting apps. It'll also force influencers to state if their images have been retouched or photoshopped, or if their face and body have been created with the use of AI. This ruling is going into effect either now or about to, and there are two things that can happen to you from this if you try to break the rules. So breaking the new ruling could result in possibly 2 years of prison, or a $300,000 euro fine, or $320,000 in the US dollar. And you can also be banned from advertising those such activities on social media. So this is an attempt to, I think, hold influencers and companies accountable for their actions. And it also provides, you know, cause and effect, which I think is the result of accountability, which is sorely lacking in today's society. I want to hear from you though. What do you think about this going on in France right now? I think this is going to mess up a lot of famous scammers in the United States who advertise all over the world, but I want to hear from you. What do you think? All right. The UK now boasts the first ever baby born with 3 people's DNA. Now, when I first read that headline, I wasn't quite sure if this was a brag or not. I was like, like, what are we doing here? Like, are we trying to tempt fate? Are we trying to play God? Like, is Morgan Freeman wearing a white suit and, you know, doing like a, you know, a voiceover to this right now? Like, what is going on? Are we officially in the Twilight Zone? Are we at the point of no return, right? These are some of the questions going through my mind. But then when I started to read it, I was like, oh, okay. There actually is like a fundamental humanitarian philanthropic kind of vibe to this, but I will also let you come up with your own opinion here. There is no thought police here. So the first ever baby born with 3 people's DNA is officially happening. In the UK, the baby was recently born using the DNA of 3 people. The purpose was to prevent a child from being born with severe mitochondrial damage that results in diseases that can be very harmful to the child. So the parents of the baby provided about 99.9% of the DNA, and only 0.1% of the DNA belongs to a third person. It belonged to another woman to kind of completely X out the possibility of any mitochondrial damage in the mother's DNA from causing potentially harmful disease to the child. So you can see why I was thinking there was a very philanthropic, humanitarian aspect to this science. But I'm starting to wonder where this could become a slippery slope. We're seeing a lot of slippery slopes happen right now, today. So I'm wondering what the potential for this in the future would look like and where that slippery slope starts to happen. But this is technically a good thing, because we can, you know, eradicate a lot of damaging things that happens to children's DNA even before they are even born. So I think this would be very interesting to see where this officially goes, and hopefully we don't end up with an like, you know, like hybrid AI babies, you know, I don't know, like Megan 5.0 running around. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. You can definitely see how the, how would I say that? The title originally sounds a lot more devious than it actually is. Like, The UK boasts the first ever baby born with 3 people's DNA. That makes you sound, what kind of Godzilla monster are they talking about? Like, but when you actually break it down, it actually sounds like a really good thing. My only concern would be, where is that slippery slope?